Hi. Okay, so we have our box created and it shuts nicely, and it should stay shut once we get the decorations on it to make it shut. And I'm going to decorate it with you. I have the Graphic 45 regular Ivy tag albums. There are 9 of these tags in here, and the size of these are, let's see, if you make your own tags, they are about 3 7/8 by 5 3/4. So I have some little ones too, but I probably won't use those. I also have the collection pack for Let It Snow, which includes the sticker pack. I do not at this point have the journaling cards, and it calls for journaling cards when you're decorating these, so I'm going to try and order those and before we have to use them. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you one of the tricks that I found. I've been working with Graphic 45 for a little while now, and what I found is I really love their instruction sheets. Save one thing. And it could just be my age. When I look at the instructions, they tell you everything you need, your supplies, other supplies that will come in handy, and tools and notes. And then they tell you that the measurements are width by height unless specified, so that helps you not to use up more paper than you want. But for me, when I've looked at the videos or when I've looked at this is quite small, and so a lot of times if I can quickly find the paper that I'm looking for, or if it tells me they're journaling cards, I underline the journaling cards. Let me hold that closer for you to see. So I go ahead with my highlighter. I read through this first of all, and I go through my highlighter and I find the type of paper that I'm using, because there are some of them that'll have 2 or 3 different papers in one number, like number 1 instructions, but once you've worked with one of them and then you forget you're not looking for the next one, sometimes you can get a little lost. So I go ahead and I highlight a lot of the things that are relevant to the way I think. So this is something you can think about when you're doing your own projects, especially if you have to print out their patterns or even if you get them through the mail. These are things that will help you to, and see, I missed one, and that's a tag. It's okay. So I just want you to start thinking about things that'll help you to better make it easier for you when you're going and creating. So they start you out on making the album with the tags, but I'm actually going to start out with the box. I kind of think I want to get my box done, and then we will work on the tags later. So the first thing that we have to do for the book, the poinsettia book, is we're going to take one of the tags, actually 2 of the tags, I'm sorry. So I'm going to take 2 of the tags, and it tells us that we're going to go ahead and put it on our scoreboard with the grommet facing up, and this is the grommet. So if I put the grommet facing up and on the right, sorry, so the grommet goes on the right and then this is on. So we're going to go ahead and score this. You can see where this score line is, and then we're going to score it at, I have to get this closer, I'm sorry, my eyes are, I'm getting old. We're going to score it in 4 5/8. So it's actually already scored at 4 5/8. And I think it came like that, actually, or I might have done this. I might have done this on one other, a different day. So if you go ahead and score these at 4 5/8, that will help you a lot. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find the So Merry paper. And I've actually put that on top so that it's easy for me to find. And what I want to do with this, I'm going to push this back just a little bit so I have a little more room to work. Sorry. What we're going to do with this is we're going to cut 2 pieces at 1.5 by 4 inches. So the 4 inches, it looks like they have the 4 inches going across this way and the 1.5 going this way. So let's go ahead and get our cutting tool out. I have the all-in-one from We Are Memory Keepers, which is really cool. And first of all, let me open this up. First of all, I want to go ahead and cut off this white spot at the top. And yeah, there we go. And you remember you were with me last time when I went ahead and changed my blade, so it is working really nicely. And Graphic 45 has nice paper, so a lot of times the blades, they work really well on those. So the next thing I want to do is I want to cut 2 at 4 inches. So yeah, I'll start at the bottom. And I'm going to push that through to 4 inches. I'm going to make sure that it's lined up the entire way of my cutting board, and then I'm going to cut them. Actually, they're 1.5. Sorry, 1.5. This is how they save paper. So I do my 1.5, and if you notice, you have inches on here, and 8 inches will take me right down, and you have a line here, so I'm going to stop when my line is in line with the 8 inches. Okay, so I want to go ahead, I'm actually going to do it this way. And so my first one will be 4 inches, and I'm going to take it, I don't know if you can see it on my board here. Let me see if I can get it up there for you to see. So I only take this up until it's cut that piece out. And then I'm going to go ahead and move my paper until it's at the 8 inch, and I can't do this with this under my camera, so I'm going to move this until it's at the 8 inches up here, and then I'm going to take my knife and cut until it's in line so that I have both of those cut. And the reason I do that is because when I looked on the other piece, we use this strip for one of the other pieces, so you want to make sure and keep kind of this strip pristine. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we have our 2 pieces. Let's go ahead and put our board away for now. And what we want to do is we actually want to go ahead and lay these behind here. And then I'm going to go ahead and trace my circle, but I'm also going to trace this. Now, if you're making your own, you already have dies that will cut this, and so you're good. Okay, so I have a 1/2 inch punch. I'm going to go ahead and find that in just a little bit, but before I do that, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this. I'm going to actually cut it just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit inside of my line that I just traced. And I'm going to cut up here. And then I'm going to cut this little piece. Okay, and so your grommet has two sides. It has a very nice smooth side that's been painted, and then it has the side that's been crimped. You want the side that's been painted, the very nice side. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that up. And while I do that, I'm going to go find my, while you're getting these cut out, you can cut out both of them if you like. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and find my 1/2-inch punch, hole punch. Okay, so if you have a 1/2-inch hole punch, this is perfect for cutting out this little hole right here. Actually, it's a little big, but I don't think I have anything else that will do that size. Let's go look. Let's look. I do have, we are memory keepers. This is the one that we use, and I don't think this is going to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on my bigger hole. And let's try it. I can't promise this will be big enough. I don't think it is. And it's not, but what it did do is it is going to let me get my scissors in there, and I can trim, just go slowly. I can trim around that circle. And let me see if that's going to fit. If nope, it's not. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my 1/2-inch punch. I hope it's not too big. I'm going to put that right in the middle. And ooh, that's pretty nice. That's actually very nice. And I might go ahead and take just a little bit more off. So I think, oh, that is just about perfect by the time I push it down. Oh, look at that, guys. That worked great. That is just about nice. Okay, so before I glue that on there, I want to go ahead, I'm going to smudge. And I'm going to smudge with Tim Holtz Distress Inks. And I'm going to do both the card and I'm going to distress this just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and distress the paper that I just cut. Now, it's really hard to get these circles. You just kind of have to work at it. Keep moving your ink pad so that it gets a little bit of ink just on the white part. If you just get it on the white part to hide all of that white, that makes it nice. Now, they don't tell you to do this in graphic 45 papers, but I really like to smudge things because it takes away, there's a white edge on the paper and it's just thick enough that you can kind of see it if it's glued down there. And I'm not a fan of that. If you're a fan of it, go ahead and leave it white. It's not a big deal. This is personal fun, however you enjoy it. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere this on here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my glue, and this is art glitter glue. I'm going to put some glue. I don't think I'm in screen now because I moved it, but there we go. So I'm going to go ahead, and you don't have to use a lot because this glue will spread with the warmth of our hand. I do put it around the edges and around my circle, and I'm going to go ahead and lay that in there. I'm going to use my thumb kind of to push that around the grommet. And you can see a little bit of my cream colored tag under there. I'm not too worried about that. If you're worried about that, then, you know, you can fix it. Cut another piece and try to get it just a little bit more perfect. To me, it's not a big deal. Now, the other thing that I am thinking of doing, and I'm just going to try this on the next one. You see what I'm doing? I'm taking off, there's little pieces that are hanging over the edge, and I just cut those off, and then I'm going to go ahead and smudge it all back up again. So what I'm thinking, now this is, don't do this until I try it, or if you're brave, go ahead and try it. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and put draw my circle. I'm going to get that right down there. Okay, I'm going to do this way. And I'm going to go ahead and take my punch, and I'm going to punch that. Now, what I am going to do, and I don't know if this is going to work, I hope it works. I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and smudge it first. Let's do our little smudgy thing. I'm just going to do my hole. I'm just going to smudge my hole. Okay. And then I am going to actually glue this down. It goes on there like that. Okay, I'm going to glue that down, and I'm going to put the glue on my tag. And then I'm going to cut and see if that's any better. I don't know if it's going to be better. I can't promise anything at this point because I'm experimenting. Okay, so I want to make sure that I get it. Yeah, it goes this way. Okay, so I'm going to push all of this around my grommet. Okay, so I'm hoping this works a little better because, like you can see, I don't quite have this covered, and I think that might be a problem, period. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut along my tag. Yeah, I think this is a lot easier for me. I don't. Y'all might be a little better at this than I am. If you like it better the other way, please do it. Don't feel you have to do anything the way I do. I like to show you a couple ways sometimes, depending on what I think is easier. And for me, I have to cut this out anyway, so I'm real happy just to go ahead and follow the tag and cut it out from the tag. Because if I drew it, I'd still have to cut it out, you know. Woohoo! That's all right. And I'm going to smudge it. Oh, I like that much better. That worked better, and you can see the difference in the two. This one has a little bit of cream color, and this one, none. Oh, I like that so much better. Okay, so after we've done that, we want to go ahead and find our box. Get your box out. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to adhere this to the top of our box. And I think I'm going to measure this so that it kind of gets centered pretty well. Let me use my big ruler. Let's go ahead and center this. Okay, so that's 7 1/4. That's 3 1/2, 3, and there we go. That's going to be the halfway mark. So as I put this in here, and I think I'm putting it on the top, I think it's on the outside. So I'm going to try and go ahead and get that centered right there. So I want to sometimes the instructions are not the best they could be. Oh, it does go on the inside. Okay. It does go on the inside. So what I'm going to do is, while I have this here, I'm going to make some marks here so that I know it goes in between there, because as I get this up here, I want that to, yeah. Okay. All right. So on this side, it has your decoration paper. Let's go ahead and glue that. Now this is going to get covered with other decorative papers. And so I made those lines. I do want this to be over the edge, and I do want this to be in that space, kind of as close as I can get it. Ooh, that looks good. Oh, yay. Okay, just go ahead and burnish it down then. That looks good. That looks way good. Yes, and that's basically what we want. So the other one we're going to put on the outside, and I'm going to do pretty much, I'm just going to go ahead and mark that at 3 1/8. Let me cap my glue so it doesn't dry out, sorry. So I'm going to put that at 3 1/8. Is that halfway? It looks like it's off. I'm sorry. I'm really kind of having a... Okay, so mine's just a little bit off. And I'm going to go ahead and mark it at 1 3/4 here. 1 3/4, right there. Okay. Is that where it is? Yep, that is right where it is. Okay, I did make a mistake. I wanted it centered, and it's not centered, but that's okay with me, because I think this bottom one is a little bit longer than the top one. Yeah, it's 1 1/2 inches and 1 3/4, which is okay, because that will be fine. That will just be fine. If you can do a little better centering, I'm good with that too. I didn't do so well with it. But that's the next thing I want to do, is I want to go ahead, and I don't want to glue above that fold line, because it's going to get glued in here. So let's go ahead and put our glue just on the bottom of this. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get it so that this is over the side, and this is centered right there. I'm not going to push hard, because I don't want it to pop through. I don't think it would, but I don't want it to pop through my box. Oh, looks nice. Okay, so what we have is, we have this so far. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside so that we can cut some more papers. And the next one we want to do is, we're going to cut from the poinsettia parade. Now, if you're using a different paper, hey, you pick the papers you want. I'm just doing this according to what G45 has said. Poinsettia Parade. Oh, that looks pretty. I like that. Yeah, okay. So then, let me push my camera back and get out my cut and scoreboard for us. And I think we're not going to get a lot done today because it took us quite a while to do that, those tags. But that's okay. We will get to do more in our next video. I do like to keep my videos a little bit short. That way they're not, for me, they're just easier to do, but they're also not too long for new people to go and look through them and then redo them and go through them again. So what we want to do is we want to cut 2 pieces at 5 by 7. And I'm going to cut my 7 first. Cap my glue. And then I will do my 5s. There's 1 5. There's my second 5. Now, I don't think this is going to be, nope, it's not going to be wide enough to put in the middle. So we'll have to cut another piece, and that will have to be 2 3/8 by 7 inches. So I want to make sure this won't be 7 inches. No. Okay, so I'm going to cut my 7 inches, and then I will cut my 2 3/8. Now again, if you're a smudger, let's go ahead and smudge all of the edges for this. And again, this would have been really pretty with a green ink also, but I really like this vintage photo. It just makes everything look a little antique-y, and I'm the kind of girl, in our development, I think everyone except me has Venetian blinds, the wooden blinds, and I have lace curtains. And I know they're out of style, they are not popular anymore, but you know what? I love them. So yeah, that's what I use. And so this vintage photo, I really like it because it makes everything look a little bit antique, makes it look a little bit old, and makes me happy, makes me warm all over. Have you heard that song? I was just telling my husband, he's watching football right now, but I was just telling my husband how every morning I wake up with some song running through my head. And it just about most of the day then, I'll be singing that song. And this one has been going through my head for a couple days, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so we are working, let's see, hang out this side, repeat this to the back of the box. We're working on the outside, so I think no, we're going to put these on the inside of the box. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one here. And we're going to go ahead and put glue. I love Graphic 45 papers. I am so impressed with the quality of the paper that they use, and also with the pictures, the artwork, it is just fabulous. Okay, so I think I have that pretty well centered. I used my hand and rubbed it all over it, and I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder. Yep, there we go. And then for my cover, I'm going to do something else, but I am going to put the inside and the back with these. And this is my design choice. I get to do that. You get to too. Yay! That's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this entire piece. I don't think you can see me, but I'm putting glue. I thought I was having a mini stroke the other day, and it really kind of scared me. I think it was probably nerves, a lot of issues. And so I'm really tickled to say that no, I did not have a stroke. I remember my sister died 12 and a half years ago with cancer, and my mother, who I think at the time was 79, 80, and I remember her going home and calling me and saying, Carla, I had a mini stroke on the way home. And my heart broke for my mom. I know it was very hard for her to lose my sister. It's hard for any mother when they lose a child. So it kind of scared me when I went through that the other day. Okay, so that's the inside. Now, as we put the other side on, I want you to be aware, this is the top, and it will open like this. But we're going to do something different on the top. So on the back, I'm also going to put one of these, and I think I want it going that way. Yeah. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put glue. Okay, and I'm going to kind of move it up this way just a little bit. And I'm not pushing real hard because, again, I don't want to break anything. But I am going to go ahead and put my hand in there and support it and push it just a little bit more. There we go. Oh, that is so cute. Okay, we're at 33 minutes. Do we want to continue? I think I'm going to stop for now because the top part is a little bit more futzy. And I think we'll try and do the top part first, and then hopefully we'll have time to go ahead and finish the outside edges and the inside edges. Okay, I hope you're enjoying this. This is really kind of fun. This is a beautiful, beautiful box. And then once we go ahead and make all of these into an album, they fit right in here. Okay, I think this will be a nice Christmas present. I know it's early, but I try to do a few things through the year for Christmas because I have so many to do, and I love doing them. Christmas is one of my favorite times. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. Meet me next time and we'll work on some more decorations for this. I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.